Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts. Holding on wide open is just what we do. Being a great person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, today we're going to be diving into how it's so freaking easy to get caught up in the comparison game, right? In comparing ourselves to others, right? To other men with let's say faster cars, other men with more cars, other men with bigger bank accounts, other men with more success, other men with a better lifestyle, what it seems like a better lifestyle, other men that just have a bigger house, other men that just seem to have more than we do, right? But the real battle here that we need to be able to take on, right, is comparing ourselves against the versions that we were yesterday, my friend. Not against anyone else, but against the person that we were yesterday. Because if you're not losing because someone else is better than you, right? The reason why you're losing in the comparison game and in your mind is because you're measuring yourself against the wrong fucking standard, right? Shift that shit. Like, like embrace the shift. And like I stumbled there for a minute because man, I just remember like a story. And I had something else that I was gonna say, but I'm gonna change it up and I'm gonna share this story um, because it has happened more than once, and it's consistently helps me reposition myself mentally about who I need to compare myself with, right? And it's not against anyone else. It's again the person that's against the person that I used to be, right? And so my goal with today's episode is to help you understand why the real competition is with yourself. It's only with yourself, right? And I'm going to help you shift your mindset, and then I'm going to help you measure your real progress, right? And so the story that really had just came to mind that I had something else that I was going to share, but I want to share this story now. Is that is is like, man, I was out in the garage, and this has happened more than once already, right? I was out in the garage. I was working on the bike, and another time I was working on my truck, and another time I was working on my wife's Jeep, like literally doing something, right? And I had both garages open, and it's funny because like I compare myself, I try, and the reason why I say I compare myself is because I always want to achieve more. I always want to grow. I want to level up. I want to take my family to new standards, and so I constantly look at other people that have that have more things than I do, that have a better lifestyle, because I want to go that way, because success leaves clues, right? And so I'm like, man, but what happens when you do that, and when you fail to compare yourself against the person that you used to be, it's so easy to get caught up in the, oh my God, it's not enough. Oh, it's not enough. And you forget to be grateful, right? And so when you forget to be grateful, you get stuck in this shitty attitude of like, oh, what I don't have is enough. What I don't have is enough. And then you forget to be really appreciative of all the progress that you've made, right? And so on more than one occasion, I've been there in my garage and I'm like, fuck, I need a bigger garage because I have to move things around in order, if I'm doing one activity, because I work out in my garage, and then I have my Camaro there, and I have, our motorcycles there. And like, if I'm doing something, it all needs to reposition in order for me to make space for doing the activity that I'm doing, right? I can't just like leave things thrown around. I just don't have the space. So a lot of times I'm like, bro, I can't fucking wait till we have a bigger house. I can't wait till this and that. And then so the story that really, and it's happened more than once, is someone's walking by, like some kids are going, or another neighbor has going, they're walking by and they're going like, oh, fuck, nice. And then they come and they talk to me, and then they're like, oh man, it's so cool. You have so many things here. Like, man, like living the dream, or oh, I wish like that. Or like I've had kids that be like, man, when I grow up, I want to be like you. Like, man, like I want to have these toys, or like, man, like what a badass setup that you have. And like, it literally is like, like a humble game, instant, right? Because you're like, man, like you see things from a different perspective. You see things that other people are telling you. You stop actually taking for granted all the shit that you have, because you really see that other people wish that they had what you currently have, when you're here to focus about having all this other stuff, and having growth. And obviously we want to have growth, we want to expand, we want to achieve more. But if you're not willing to be grateful and remember how far you've come, then you're gonna be constantly stuck in this fucking mental masturbation game of fucking that is never enough, right? And so that is that is crazy. That is the humbling experience that I've had more than once. And it's funny because every time I have it, I'm like, yo, I have come from far. Like, man, I have. Like, there was a time I didn't have none of this shit. There was a time where I didn't have not even one motorcycle, right? And I have four, right? There was a time where I didn't have a race car. Now I'm about to have two turbo LSs out in the game. Like, it's crazy. There's a time where I didn't even have a house. I was fucking stuck living at my mom's, right? And a time when even with my mom, we were all just living in our own little apartment. And how much we've grown, right? And so when you're willing to really remember where you've come from and compare yourself to that scenario, you really start appreciating the hard work that you have put in order to get where you're at. And so the problem with external competition is that you're constantly chasing the fucking shadows, right? Like, why competing against others is a losing game is because someone will always be ahead of you in some type of way, right? Even if, like, this is like racing, like there's always going to be some guy that's faster than you, right? There's always going to be some guy that's more fit than you, right? There's always going to be some guy that makes more money than you. There's always going to be some guy that has a bigger house than you, right? But if you're comparing yourself against the shadows, right, like, it's a losing game, right? And the funny thing about it is that you don't know their struggles. You don't know their sacrifices. You don't know their shortcomings, their shortcuts, right? And so by chasing someone else's success, all it does is distract you from your own fucking path. And then it not eliminates, but it really holds you back from being grateful, from really accepting the growth, from really seeing the progress, right? Just like think about it. Like, if you see a guy at the track who's running way faster than you, right? Whether it be lap times or actually, eighth mile times, quarter mile times, or whatever it is, right? Like, and you're like, man, I want to fucking be like that guy. I want to beat that guy. I want to be faster than that guy. That's good because it creates competition, right? It's good to kind of see that. The problem is that when you're there comparing and instead of thinking about, oh, I want to improve my driving, right? You start thinking like, man, you start to assess about what parts he has, right? But he has a better car. Oh, but he has a better team. Oh, but he has more money. Oh, but he has all this shit, right? And so you got to shift that mindset, right? And so when you see someone that has that, you got to shift from like, yeah, all of what he does have, right? And think about how better you can be, how much of a better driver you can be, how much more skill you can bring to the game by being an underdog, right? Not saying that it's not good and being financially stable to have those better parts or the better team or whatever it is ain't gonna make you faster. Yes, that does help, but don't let it be a limiting factor to your growth. Don't let it impede you from being that faster guy, from having that drive, from having that vision, from having that underdog approach to fucking be a winner, right? And so the same thing goes with, like, when you see someone at work that's getting a promotion, right? Like, you automatically assume that they have it all figured out, right? But you don't see the fucking late nights. You don't see the stress that they've gone through. You don't see the personal sacrifices they had to make. You don't see all the shit that they had to fucking put aside in their personal life in order to be able to get that promotion, right? And so be willing to put yourself in that situation so that you can really appreciate and see what it takes to fucking level up, right? And so the mindset shift here, which is really about, stop looking sideways, right? The only competition that matters is who you were yesterday versus who you are today, my friend. Fuck looking at others, fuck comparing ourselves. Like, yeah, if you want to do it to compare to where you kind of want to go and have some role models and some goals you're achieving, right? And the person that you need to become in order to have more, do more, be more, have it all lifestyle, right? That's good. But then get back to the game, right? And then start. As long as you're taking action, it's gonna fucking require to take a lot of action. And if you don't take action, you ain't gonna make shit happen, right? But compare yourself of who you were yesterday, right? Who you were the day before, who you were back then, towards who you are right now. And that right there is gonna create some momentum for yourself. It's gonna shift your focus inward as you track your progress, right? As not instead of like looking at someone else's highlight reel, like on Instagram or whatever. And like the crazy thing about it is that most of them are all highlight reels, right? Most of the people that are posting all this shit, like they're struggling, they're going through things, they're going through hardships, they're going through a lot of shit that you don't even know, but all you see is the highlight reel, and you're like, oh, but they have such a perfect life. Bullshit. We're all going through shit, right? And so stop comparing yourself to other people and start really comparing yourself into the person that you used to be, about the man that you were yesterday, about the improvements that you've made, so that you can really see the progress that you are doing, right? The true rival here is that outworking, it's all about outworking your past self, right? Like that's really what it boils down to. That's really what the subject is of you competing against the wrong person, right? Not competing against no one else, but you're competing against yourself. Like reframe the fucking fight. Like the man that you were yesterday is your only fucking real component. It's opponent, right? Like, did you improve from yesterday? Like, have better habits? Do you have better routines? Do you have better eating habits? Do you have a better mindset? Do you have a better approach? Do you have are you better, right? Or are you the fucking same? Are you the same person as you were yesterday? Are you the same person you were last year, right? Like, and if yesterday's too close, go fucking last year. And if last year's too close, go fucking 5 years ago, right? And really help yourself with that comparison against yourself only, so that you could see that you are getting better. And if you're someone who hasn't got better, and you look back, you're like, oh fuck, I'm still the same person. Then that's your fucking clue to start changing, to start evolving, right? Like like yesterday, let's say you skipped the gym. Well, today, fucking hit it twice as hard. That's a victory, right? Last month, let's say you avoided tough conversations. Well, this month, face them head on. Fine, you have a victory, right? Last year, let's say your race car wasn't running. This year, well, let's say you're putting in the fucking hours, right? Let's say you're wrenching nonstop. And then now it's gonna be fucking running. Bam! Now that's a victory, right? It's all about adopting the 1% rule, right? Like aim for small daily improvements. And then what happens is over time, that shit compounds into massive gains, to massive wins. And then when you look back and you just got better 1% every day, and you just took action every day, you took something small, you took small improvements. When you look back and they all compound, you're like, yo, we've gone so fucking far. Damn. You're gonna fucking feel good about yourself, and you're gonna want to keep improving, right? Set some micro goals for yourself, right? Like each day, do something that makes you better than yesterday, right? So no matter how small it is, right? And like it's all about building that compounding effect, right? And really knowing that winning is all about the long game, right? It's not a fucking sprint, it's a marathon, right? It's all about becoming the man that you need to become in order to achieve the things that you want, right? Like the goal isn't to win against others. The goal is to evolve into the man who can't fucking lose, right? And that's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different identity, right? If you're always thinking about, oh man, how am I going to win against these guys? How am I going to win against these people? How am I going to level them up? How am I going to do better than them? No, fuck that. Like, think about, I can't lose, right? Because I'm getting better, right? I'm evolving, right? I'm better than I used to be, right? Like that is a different mindset. That is a different approach. That is a fucking confident ass way to look at things and really embrace the growth that you're having, right? Like think of like the best version of yourself. Like what does he look like, right? Like how does he move? Like how does he handle challenges, right? And that is the guy that you should be fucking chasing, right? And like that is the guy that you need to be going doing better than. That is the guy that you need to be evolving, right? Like I recently made an episode of who you need to become, right? Like set goals so big that you can't achieve them until you become the man who cannot fucking achieve them, right? Like embrace that identity. The mindset shift really is all about that others aren't your enemy. They're just distractions, my friend, and you're allowing them to be distractions by continually comparing yourself to them. The real challenge is staying locked in on your own progress, because at the end of the day, each day is just another way to improve. It's just another opportunity to get better. It's just another chance to show yourself, to prove to yourself that you are better today than you were yesterday, right? And so as you finish your days, and I like to do this sometimes. Not sometimes, I like to do this when I'm before going to sleep. I'm doing my prayer and all that stuff, and then sometimes if I can't go to sleep, or I like to do this more than often, man, did I get better today, right? Like like did I improve, or did I slack? Or like you literally like analyzing your day, right, and what you did, right? And then if you see that it wasn't the way that you really wanted to, right? Then there you go. That is your plan for tomorrow, right? That is your plan of action. That is your plan of improvement so that you can improve tomorrow and you can be better than you were yesterday or today in that example, right? And so as we wrap up this episode, I'm going to leave you with this question. I'm going to ask you this question, right? Are you measuring your success against someone else's life, or are you measuring your success against your own progress? This is what we were just talking about, right? This is the key. This is the key thing. This is the thing that is gonna be the game changer for you, because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be like, that's why so many people don't create the success they want in their life, because the minute shit gets hard, they fucking give up. But if you're constantly getting better every day, and then you're looking at yourself at who you used to be and who the man that you're becoming, then you're gonna be like, man, that's gonna be fuel for yourself. It's gonna be fire. You're gonna be like, yo, this fucking guy is way different than he was, and I can't wait to meet the guy that's gonna be tomorrow. It's gonna be next year. It's gonna be in 5 years. It's gonna be 10 years, and that's the fucking guy that I'm working towards. And that shit, it fucking builds you up. It gives you fire. It gives you an internal fucking strength to keep pushing, to keep fighting, to do more, to be more. And that's what I'm here to show you. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for your life. That's what I want for you to embrace. That's the mindset that I need you to adopt. And then my challenge really is to start tracking one thing that you're working on improvement, right? Whether it's your fitness, whether it's your focus, whether it's your skill, whether it's your discipline, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your mindset, whether it's whatever it is, start tracking that shit, man. And then each night ask yourself, did I beat the version of me that was yesterday? Right? Did we get better? Did we evolve? That is a game changer. And then my final thought, as really we wrapped up this episode, is know that comparison steals joy. Progress fuels greatness. So stop racing against the wrong fucking people. Lock in on your own race, and no one will be able to touch you, my friend. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and we're calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. If by any chance you still haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you connected with today's message, if you vibe with today's message, if it resonated with you, man, do me a favor and share this on your story. Make sure that you tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions to help more gearheads, more motorheads, more people like us to really see and hear about this podcast, and ultimately that's how our community grows. I'll catch up with you on the next episode, but till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.